We're live, we're back. It's back to normal. Let me just put the audio down a little bit. But yeah, welcome to the Happy Gaijin. I am back home. It's been an incredible 6 weeks in Japan. Hopefully you can hear me, hopefully you can see me, and hopefully everything's working well. And for this live stream, this very, very, very special live stream, being the very first Happy Gaijin official Wednesday episode, I have prepared not one but two Coke Zeros, because I'm going to need it, because I am jet lagged. And I have to say, yesterday's jet lag was one of the worst I have ever experienced. I'm not going to lie, yesterday was brutal. I don't know if it was because I flew like the other way around the globe, or because of the time that I arrived. I don't know what it was, but it was horrendous. But I am happy to be back in Gibraltar, my hometown, and I am wearing my Tigers top, and I actually have one that Jennifer gave me that I'm going to be alternating for the streams. It's just very, very hot here right now. Yes, so I've moved things from Ninja Monkey to the Happy Gaijin for Wednesdays. Sundays will remain exactly the same. I'm just trying to get some watch hours up, trying to get people onto this channel, and apart from that, obviously I would love to monetize this channel, because I'm not gonna lie, it does help me get back to Japan, and the more you know, the more monetized I get, the more likely I am to return. So as always, I am very thankful for you to be here. Today we're going to be talking about just my trip in general, jet lag, etc. I don't know how long the stream is going to be for, but I'm here. I've got nothing to do, and I'm very happy that I have you guys here in the stream. And just a little, just a few little things that I need to mention. Number one, if you want to donate, at the moment this channel is not monetized. There are two ways to donate, or three ways really. Number one is using the PayPal, but at the moment I would really maybe recommend that you don't, because my PayPal has been frozen. We got under review. I've had to send some documents, and I have to wait and see. There's a few $100s in that PayPal account that I was going to be using for a future trip. So hopefully everything goes well. I've been told that everything should be going fine, but obviously everything get a little bit stressed with these things. So at the moment I'm going to ask for the next few days no PayPal. Weird for me to say that, because PayPal really is the best way, until that's sorted out. And the best way at the moment is a really weird way, and that is to go to, maybe Japan Ichiban can help me with this, or Caroline. If you go to my last video on Ninja Monkey and you go to the super thanks, that will be the same as a super chat, and it will probably even appear here in theory. So, and then the final way is obviously the Discord, Discord, Patreon, which now that I'm back and I promised that there's going to be a revamp, there will be a revamp. Some of you know what it is, and I'm super excited. So that is generally just a little bit of an introduction, and let's see who is here. Well, first of all, what the hell? We're back in Gibraltar. Coke Zero tastes good here, you know, like Kampai, Chin Chin. Thank you very much, Japanese Japan. I have a few things. I mean, it's going to be a little bit chill today, but there are a few things that I want to mention. Oh, you just sent a paper. Thank you very much, Jim Ross. I mean, it should be fine. Thank you, dude. Thanks so much. Getting Nathan back to Japan Fund. Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm just at the moment. I'm just pretty much asking just until that's sorted, you know. But hey, right, we have Frank in the house. Ninja, Jim Ross. Never really thought this would happen. I figured you would really need till Sunday to get over the jet lag. I will need till Sunday to get over the jet lag, I'm not gonna lie. But happy to have it. Seems like was so long and so short at the same time. Tell me about it. Feel exactly the same way. 6 weeks. I think I squeezed every little bit of Japan that I could in those 6 weeks. As those of you who have been following my journey probably maybe felt that way too. Anyway, Slick with the kicks is here also. Jennifer, hey Jennifer, welcome back. Nathan, kind of welcome back. I am happy to be home. It is my home, but I was really happy in Japan too. So I mean, the way I was also exhausted, to be honest. Oh boy, Little Big Sis, the jet lag is not good. It's hard. This time around is very hard. Yeah, and we've got a new intro. What did you think of the intro, by the way, after I got it done properly the second time round with the sound? And Terry the Chicken, Nathan wearing his new shoes. Yeah, I mentioned the new shoes are very worn. I need to give them a good wash. Little Big Sis likes the intro. Yeah, it was quite a bit of Kanazawa, but 4 of the clips are from Kanazawa. And yeah, that all the footage from that intro is literally new footage from this trip, and there's so much more that I didn't fit into that intro. So all the lives, etc. It was great. Lots of sleep, not so much, but sacrifices must be made. Thanks for carrying me along on this stellar trip with equally stellar content. Thank you, and I hope that the next few weeks, months, will bring the fruits of my labor in Japan will come to life. Already, you've seen yesterday I posted the mask video. I just really felt I kept on getting comments on the mask video that I did back in February. People kept on commenting on that one. Oh my god, Japan's so backwards. Oh my god, masks, the devil. Oh my god, I can't deal with masks. You know, and all that kind of thing. Everybody's entitled to whatever. And I just wanted to clear the air a little bit and sort of say, yeah, you know, people do wear masks in Japan, but it's a different story right now in Japan compared to February. Things have changed a lot more drastically, a lot faster than I was expecting, to be totally honest. I wasn't expecting things to move back to normality so quickly. So I really needed to put that video out, so just to clear the air. And the main thing there is just that people don't care. Really, I swear. You can wear a mask, you can not wear a mask. It's fine. It's fine. People are not going to be judgmental, really, unless you're like coughing and you got like snot coming down your nose. Then obviously people might look at you funny. But hey, you wanna all the Tokyo banana that I bought? Well, I've got two here, and I've got a lot more, like a crazy amount, a crazy amount. I had to take some Tokyo banana out of the boxes because the boxes didn't fit in my suitcase. Jet lagged Gaijin. I agree. My return jet lag to Chicago from Japan was 1,000 times worse than going over jet lag. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but I flew from London to Tokyo like east. Yeah, that's right. And then I flew from Tokyo to London east. So I actually flew around the globe. It was quite kind of crazy, to be honest. But yeah. Hanshin Tigers. I mean, that game was so much fun. So much fun. Thank you so much. Good evening, Caroline. And thanks, obviously, as always, Japan, Ichiban, for helping me out, quickly getting through the chat. I'm glad you liked the trip of a lifetime. Yeah, it was a very good trip. I mean, there were some highlights. What is my Japanese level? My Japanese level is quite low. It's quite poor, I'm not going to lie. However, I do feel in this trip specifically, there was a jump in my Japanese speaking. I was hanging out with Oriental Pearl, and I've actually been hanging out a lot with her, to be honest. We just get along really well. And back in December and February, I would interact a little bit in Japanese, and now this time she actually said, "Nathan, your Japanese has improved." I mean, if she's saying that to me out of everyone, like, yeah, I only made one mistake. This is a learning mistake that I've made. For those of you who are doing Pimsleur, and Pimsleur is what I've been doing. I've been doing Pimsleur on the daily, and when I got to Japan, I stopped because I was in Japan, I was shooting, I was filming, and I was busy. But that was my big mistake. I think it's very important if you're doing Pimsleur. It's very important for you to continue doing your Pimsleur in Japan in the morning, maybe whilst you're getting dressed, maybe whilst you're having a shower or whatever, so that when you're out there, you use the Japanese that you've just learned in the morning, if that makes any sense. So I didn't do that. That was my downfall, but now I've learned. Next time, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I have to restart the Pimsleur. Tomorrow is the day. Thank you, Jim Ross, for the paper, by the way. Hey, Jesse, how are you doing? 6 weeks was an epic thing, epic trip. And I got a haircut in Sakata and didn't go to Natsuki's salon. No. I'm so rusty. I forgot about the chat highlight, which now I remembered how to do. Jesse, when I was hanging out with Luke, Nomadic Gaijin, really cool guy, by the way. Maybe we're gonna go and check it out, or check out the area. But to be honest, I mean, I just didn't feel right just to go to somebody, to intrude in somebody's like life. I don't know. I think he's made it quite clear. I think Chris has made it quite clear also to keep, his privacy, etc. I found the address, I just didn't go. And to be honest, I was very, 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 very short in time in Sakata. I do want to go back. I've actually just posted a Sakata video. Did you check it out? What did you think? What are your thoughts? I think that is that kind of video is what I love making. I love making videos like that. And the one I made in Sakata, I enjoyed filming it, enjoyed editing it, and for me, it's just a great memory and a great way of showing people a really interesting place that potentially could be quite unique to visit. So yeah, I thought you used a lot of Japanese on this trip. I was impressed. Jim Ross, I was impressed also. I mean, I sort of went through a challenge. I challenged myself, um, because I was trying to do Eigo Jozu before they said Nihongo Jozu to me. That was my challenge, and it became quite funny because I kept on saying Eigo Jozu, and they would get a reaction. I would get a reaction from them. It's quite fun. How to learn studying Japanese? I don't know anything, but quite curious about the language. Pimsla is a great way of doing it. You did well ordering beers in Japanese when we were at the izakaya. Yeah, I think beers. I'm an expert at ordering alcohol in Japan. I do quite well with the whole beers thing. And for those of you who don't know, I met Japan Ichiban. I met him and his lovely wife Michaela, in Tokyo. We hanged out the day that he arrived, the evening that he arrived, and then the next day we also hung out a little bit, and then I had to leave, unfortunately, and we didn't see each other after. But I was following him on his social media, and I know that he had an amazing trip also because I was following what I could. It's very difficult to sort of keep up with other people and content creators when you're traveling or making YouTube. So, but yeah, I noticed your Japanese improved too. I like that you just jumped in there and tried. It was great. Yeah, I do. I think I'm a little bit more confident. I think I've definitely more interested in learning from locals. I think that locals are really the best teachers that you can get. If you can get to Japan, you know a little bit of Japanese, you start the conversation with some local people and ask them, so how do I say that? Or did I say it wrong? Correct me. And it's I learn through my mistakes. When somebody corrects me, I've used a few examples already. For example, when I was in Japan, I used the koto ga arimasu sort of like structure, koto ga arimasu. So I would say, itta koto ga arimasu. Nihon ni itta koto ga arimasu. I've been to Japan. 20回、日本に20回行ったことがあります. I've been to Japan 20 times, for example, right? And I've been using that over and over and over again. You know, it's a like a set phrase. When people ask me where's Gibraltar, I have a set phrase. I've learned what to say. It sounds very impressive, but really it's just a set phrase that I've memorized. And no, but I said 日本に行ったことがあります. Or 日本に20回行ったことがあります. And then Mariko said, you use 行ったことがあります a lot, but maybe you need to change that to 聞いたことがあります because a little bit of a Japanese lesson when I'm not a Japanese teacher, and I would probably be butchering and maybe even saying it wrong or doing it wrong. But 行ったことがあります means been to Japan, whilst 来たことがあります mean come to Japan. So because I was in Japan, it made more sense for me to say 日本に20回来たことがあります. I've come to Japan 20 times instead of I've been to Japan. Anyway, those little things I learned through people telling me. People basically telling me, you know, hey, you know, how about doing this or doing that? Another example was when I was trying to rent a car inside of Ireland. And I was in the train station, like outside, there were some Westerners, and I was on the phone and I said, すみません、車ありますか? Yeah, excuse me, are there any cars? And the woman sort of said, yeah, arimasen, you know, there are no cars. But if you think about it, my question was really rubbish, trash, because I was basically asking, are there any cars? But, you know, there could be a car parked outside, and the woman could say, yeah, there's a car outside, right? So the lady, there was an Australian lady, really, really nice lady that I met, who lives in Kanazawa, speaks Japanese, and she said, hey, maybe I was overhearing you, and you said, you know, like, kuruma ga arimasu ka? And maybe you should say aitemasu ka, which means availability. So I learned that from that experience from somebody. Anyway, that's the way that I learn. I don't learn from textbooks. I do really bad with textbooks. I don't learn through memorization. I learn through my mistakes when people tell me, hey, you've done that wrong. This is how you have to do it. That's how I learn. Anyway, random. Sorry for going on about this. Are you going to be back in October? I will be back in October, guys. I will be back in October. Yeah. I like Pimsleur because it just fits in with my type of learning, which is doing. Also with Pimsleur, for me personally, there's no really any like textbook paper, and I can do it at any time. I can do it in the morning when I wake up. Usually I turn on Pimsleur once I'm having a shower, once I'm having breakfast. First thing that I do is I listen to Japanese, and it's very, very intuitive. So that's why I've been liking Pimsleur personally. It really improves your listening, which is something that's very important in Japan. I find in the past I've been to Japan many times, and I've found it hard to listen. So Pimsleur sort of starts tuning in your ear a little bit. Jim Ross, ordering beers, the monkey learned at the feet of Diane Gall, a true master of beverages. Yeah. But with Diane Gall, I just leave it to him. It's like, you order, you do the ordering. Don't worry, you just do the ordering. I trust you. And then it's the end for me. Welcome back to Europe, Lani. Thank you very much. It's been nice. I went to a swimming pool with my mum, my dad, and my nephew today, this afternoon. It was really nice, really lovely actually. Amnister, greetings. Welcome back to the welcome to the first Happy Gaijin episode. Paolo, dude, howdy. Tree friends. Eigo ga jozu, Nathan. Eigo ga jozu. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you. Lani, I'll be in Japan from October 31st to November the 18th. Are you there? I will be there. Lani, I will be there from October 29th for a week. Only for a week. I've just got back. I'm not quite planning or making specific meetup plans for October. But yeah, could happen. Completely agree. Listening comprehension is job number one. Yeah, I think listening is something that is crucial in my opinion. Yeah, using the language in the only way to really internalize it, because courses just give it the base to start with. Yeah. I mean, I've done Mina no Nihongo book 1 pretty much fully, like textbook base, and that's completely in Japanese. That textbook is not at all, there's no English, and I don't even have the English companion books, just completely been in Japanese. I pretty much finished it, struggled to get through it, but I did finish it. But I feel that when it comes to getting to Japan, I've always found that I haven't had the confidence, and now I'm at a point where my Japanese level, although it be very, 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 very low in fluency, I can have just about enough to have a little bit of a conversation that sort of a lot of the time is the same, because you learn these set phrases, usually like where you're from, where do you live, and what kind of work do you do, You know, like I'm from Gibraltar, where I traveled, ages, that kind of thing. But then what happens is, even though you're having the same, pretty much the same sort of conversation with people every single time, that conversation is slightly different, and they ask you something that you've never heard before, and then you learn that. So each time, from that very, very simple conversation that you've sort of just had with someone, each time you expand that conversation a little bit more. And then next time you speak to somebody else and the same thing happens, you expand it, you learn something else. So I don't think there's anything wrong. Oh, this is what I'm doing. I ain't Oriental Pearl, okay? She is the master of languages, and I do highly recommend that you check out her channel. But me personally, my little brain, Japanese, basically what I do is I've learned specifically the typical thing. People ask me, "Where are you from?" And I say, "Chiburarutaru, Chiburarutaru," at which they look at me with blank eyes and usually a smile, like pretending that they know, but I know that they don't know, like most people. So then I go, "Chiburarutaru wa Spain Minami desu. Demo, Chiburarutaru wa Igirisu desu. 私はイギリス人 Spain Jin Janai. So basically, I'm saying Gibraltar is in the south of Europe, south of Spain, but Gibraltar is British. I am British. I am not Spanish. So that is sort of like a set thing that I've learned through a lot of repetition, because people just ask the same questions over and over and over and over again. And each time I have that little conversation, something will be different. They'll ask something else that I've never heard before, so I learned that. And each time, does that make sense? I don't know if I'm even making any sense. Sounds like we need to set up a Ninja Monkey meetup. I think we could, but let's see. Let's see, dude. I've just got back. I'm jet lagged, and I need a little bit of time to get my. I've edited 2 videos and an intro since I've been back, which is a bit crazy. But yeah, I'll deal with the organization. I'm sure you will. Hey Nathan, welcome back. What weeks will you be there in December? I need to look at December carefully. I do want to go for New Year's. But I'm not 100% sure yet. I need to wake up. I need to get over this jet lag before I go near a computer and start looking at flights, to be honest. But I will be there in October. Those flights are paid for. Those flights are paid for, mostly, partly with thanks to the donations. The patrons especially make a big difference, a huge difference. By the way, has anybody received my patron postcards? I'm just wondering. But yeah, best time to grill Nathan about his Japan plans is a day after he returns while still jet lagged. It's cool. It's quite funny, because when I was leaving Japan, I was at the hotel, just about to go to the airport, and I was like already planning in my head about the next trip. It is what it is. Mina no Nihongo is great for learning enough to pass a JLPT. I don't think I could pass it. It's not enough to get you to really be able to communicate. I thought Mina no Nihongo was pretty cool as a textbook, but pretty complicated also. Really complicated. Caroline, I'm on the last pages of the final chapter of Genki 2 with my teacher, but so already get to practice it is pointless. This is what I was feeling with Minano Nihongo. I had a Japanese teacher. I was, by the way, Minano Nihongo, I was doing it with a Japanese teacher online, and but I was just finding that I was doing all this. I mean, it definitely improved my reading ability and of hiragana and katakana specifically, and it definitely improved my some vocab. But to be honest, there wasn't much talking. It was all like very, like, yeah. How much Japanese do you think I can learn in 4 months? A lot. You can learn a lot of Japanese in 4 months if you put your head to it. Depends how much you're willing to do. In 4 months, a lot. My mantra is, however you want to use language is how you should be learning language. I agree, Amnesty. If your goal is to talk with people, your learning needs to include speaking and listening. I think everybody's goal should be, well, not everybody's, but I know some people are into anime and all they want to do is know how to understand the anime. But generally, I think you should be aiming to have conversational Japanese, which is what I would like to have. Yeah, I'll keep on working at it. I'll see how much I can improve from now to 8 weeks time when I'm back in Japan. If anyone's thinking about Japanese learning, I highly recommend a face-to-face teacher. I agree 100%. My Japanese improved no end when I had a teacher I could converse with. Yeah. I think also when you choose a teacher, I think you need to set your goals clear with the teacher and say, I want to do a lot of conversation. Because I think Japanese teachers tend to be very, very quick to want to do like academic reading, writing work, you know? Hope to see you in October. We'll be there from the 6th of October to the 2nd of November. Oh, that might be Miyagi, hopefully, but that might be a little bit tricky. I arrive on the 29th and I have a few things planned those first few days, but we'll see. Oh yeah, another thing is Pocket Wi-Fi is really helping also with getting me back to Japan. Also, just let you know. Definitely agree. As somebody learning Japanese, if you can get regular conversations, that's the best idea. I think I've learned more Japanese in this trip, potentially, than I've learned in a whole year of Japanese. Just once you're open to asking questions, once you're open to sort of like trying and knowing that you're gonna fail and using the words Nihongo musukashi desu. Sumimasen. Oh. Okay, Gibraltar is British, but the native language is Spanish. No. You haven't got it. Gibraltar is British and the native language is English. So Gibraltar is British, the native language is English, but we speak Spanish as a second language. No postcard yet. I only sent it maybe 3 or 4 days before I left, so I wouldn't be expecting it to arrive just yet. But I always do the same thing. Look, I wrote those postcards in Kanazawa on day 1 in Kanazawa. That's when I wrote the postcards, and then they traveled across Japan with me in my bag for days on end until 3 or 4 days before I left. I was like, I need to post the postcards. Rider, December for 5 weeks. Hope the weather is not too bad. Depends where you are. You know, December, I think winter in the Tokyo region specifically is really nice. Usually, not a lot of rain, crisp weather, a little bit of snow maybe if you're lucky. But it's cold. Just be aware. Japan can be cold, depending when you go, but generally, yes. My A1.2 class starts on September the 14th. German Volks. What? I can't even say that. As Oriental Pearl says, 2 to 4 hours a day is needed. It is work and must be done. It is. I mean, obviously, the more work you put into it, the more you're going to learn. And it's sort of like a little bit of a cycle, because also even when you start ordering things in as easy as this, you know, like you start picking things up. When I go to Starbucks in the morning, every few days, usually I do have a coffee every day. I survive off coffee, I'm not gonna lie. On that note, I'm gonna have a Tokyo banana, because although I am jet lagged, I am tired. I have to say that something that really screws me up is my appetite. and I'm not hungry and I haven't eaten dinner. So this is going to be my dinner. Tokyo banana. ASMR. Hmm? your, your donations fund my addiction. But yeah, like even when I was going to Starbucks and I was ordering a coffee every morning, you know, eventually by the fourth or the fifth time, it was easy. You know, ice latte onegashimasu. Tall size onegashimasu. Koko de. Adult Education Center, but also kind of community college, because some classes are acknowledged as qualifications. Okay, cool. Very cool. When I was in Japan, I lost 15 pounds. When I came back, I gained 30 pounds. I've lost nearly 3 kilos, or just about 3 kilos, actually. Yeah, just about 3 kilos. Whilst I've been in Japan. I walked, on average, I'd say 30,000 steps a day, more or less. But yeah, I mean, even my Japan trip was very routine-y. I had a very specific routine every day. Wake up more or less at the same time, usually around 6 a.m. But I just wake up very naturally around that time. I've never had Tokyo banana, but you've convinced me. I have to try one when I get there. Actually, the trick with Tokyo banana is to have it when you're leaving. They have a very short shelf life. Like this one is 23rd of September, and that's it. 23rd of September. So I usually purchase them the day before or the day that I'm leaving, and at the airport maybe, and then I freeze them. So yeah, I mean the most I did was 36,000 steps, I think, something like that, one day, which is quite crazy. But on average, I would say near 30,000 steps, easy. And some of these were like elevation, like lots of steps, like, oh come on, open. 32,000 steps. That's good amount of steps. Yeah, I was definitely I think I actually underate whilst I was in Japan. I'm not gonna lie. There were times that I just did not eat. That's not good, is it? Well, I will be in Shibuya Crossing with, hopefully with Oriental Pearl, dressed in a group costume with Oriental Pearl. I don't want to say anything, but that's the plan. In fact, tomorrow I need to look at getting one ordered. There's only 8 weeks, guys. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be like a group of people. It'll be cool. I got stopped quite a few times in Japan this time round also, surprisingly, specifically in Tokyo, mainly in Tokyo. I mean, Japan was there, but and it was really random because we bumped into a streamer, and we were sort of talking with a streamer, and and I think Japan Ichiban Alan, he said, like, like, yeah, Nathan, he was introducing me to this guy, saying that I used to do all these, like, updates or whatever, and I said, no, like, I haven't been spotted. Nobody stopped me for a while. Nobody's actually stopped me to say that they watch me or whatever. And 1 minute later, whilst I was there with Japan Ichiban, this girl comes and says, hey, I watched your videos during the pandemic, and thank you very much, and you really helped. And it was really, really amazing. And those are the ones that I'm really proud of. The people that made it through, that didn't give up, and that are there living or studying or whatever. So yeah, that was one. Then another funny one, a few funny ones. Somebody stopped me near, where was I? In Shinjuku, I think I was. Somebody stopped me and said, hey, you're the luggage guy. I just watched your video before coming on this trip on how to pack to come to Japan. That was funny. And then on the train, also, on the way to the meetup, we were gonna go. No, where was I? Who was I with? I was with someone. I can't remember who I was with. But yeah, this guy was sitting across and basically said, hey, I watched your content. And I said, are you gonna come to the meetup tomorrow? And he's like, this is a meetup? So he came to the meetup, and we had a great, really fun meetup. For those of you who did come, it was pretty good. It was loads of fun. I always have loads of fun. It's always great to interact with people in person. And some people wanted to meet me, like the days after, and I tried, and I did see a few people, like for a coffee or whatever, but it was really, really difficult. For example, Shaki, poor guy, he really wanted to see me, and it just didn't work out. When I was in Ikebukuro, he would send me a message, and then he would be like, I'm in Ikebukuro, and I was no longer in Ikebukuro, I was somewhere else. And then when I was in, like, when he was in Ueno, I was in, I don't know, Shinjuku, for example. We just kept on messing each other out. And this is why meetups are the best way, really. One place, a few hours, as many people as possible, not only hanging out with me, but also hanging out with other people and chatting with other people, and probably a lot of people from the chat that you've already know, if that makes any sense. So I do prefer doing a meetup and seeing as many people as possible. I'm not very sure if October is going to be too soon, but we'll see. It is obviously, when I'm there for a week, I want to see everyone. I want to see as many people as I can. It's sort of become something special in this channel, like a community where even when I'm not in Japan, people do Ninja Monkey meetups and meet themselves, just because it's that kind of community, right? So I'd like to, but it just depends. If there's just a few people, 2 or 3 people, then I might just consider like having a shorter sort of meetup rather than a long meetup. The meetups are long because there's loads of people that I want, I need time to try and see everyone. So yeah, when it's hot, food is not as important as hydration. I think, Jim, that's also very true. And I also think that that's probably the reason why I wasn't as hungry all the time, just because I drank so much water. And I was very good with my hydration, very, very good. In fact, it's something that I am aiming to continue whilst I'm here at home. Drinking more water, which is something that I don't do because of this thing. But yeah. You're right with the 31st? in Osaka. First hotel in Kyoto, so no Halloween in Tokyo for me. I would fall asleep in the middle of the crossing. Well, I'm going to be knackered. I arrive on the 29th, and I'm supposed to be meeting Oriental Pearl on the 29th, so it was a great moment. It was fun. It was really cool. Archie, yo! New channel, the luggage guy. Well, that's how I felt a few times. At least 3 people stopped me and said that was the luggage guy. So my first day in Japan all night was on Halloween in Shibuya. Millions of people in the street, and me with my luggage lost trying to find my hotel for the first night. That is crazy, dude. Am I gonna be in London before Christmas? I don't think so, Caroline. I don't think I want to be in London before Christmas. Because I'm gonna be in Japan in October. That's my main holiday. I was thinking of going in September, but I just don't think I can afford it this time round. We'll see. I don't think so. We didn't feel hungry most days. Yeah, I know. This is the thing. A lot of drinking, a lot of going around, being around, walking around, etc. I think people are jumping into the stream and are disappointed that I'm in my house. That's the feeling that I'm getting. That is a feeling that I'm getting. I think people are just getting disappointed because they're probably been coming onto my live streams, seeing Japan, and they're not used to this because, surprisingly, a lot of viewers to the Happy Gaijin channel are not Ninja Monkey viewers, which is something which is pretty cool to have, like, new people. So for those of you watching who might be new, I'm Nathan, Ninja Monkey, also Happy Gaijin. I make content mainly on my Ninja Monkey channel, all about Japan travel, tips, guides, etc. And this channel is more about me. So therefore it's a live streaming, in real life streaming, things like vlogs that you've been seeing, and there's plenty of more vlogs to appear on this channel, so don't worry. So Ninja Gaijin, Happy Monkey. Yeah, and I will let you know, Caroline, if I do. I don't think I will. I don't think I can afford it, to be honest. I mean, the problem with London is just the freaking hotels are so expensive. Yeah, I could get there, no problem. London is very, very easy for me to fly to. Usually there are relatively cheap flights, but when a hotel costs you like 150, 160 euros or whatever a night, yeah, I'd rather use that money to get myself to Japan. I think that's where I'm at, really. We'll see. I mean, maybe February I'll be in London. That might be my next London trip. And December I need to figure out whether I'm going to go to Japan or not. I would like to. I really, really enjoyed my time in December last year. I loved that time of the year. I think there's a lot you could do as a second time traveler to Japan. If you've done all the main sites, you've done all the tourist sites, all the shrines, all the temples, then December, New Year's time is pretty good. But maybe as a first time traveler who wants to go to the shrines and the temples, etc., it might be a little bit tricky because they're just so busy. Yeah. I've been awake since 3 a.m, guys. I went to bed, I crashed 8 p.m, no, 7:30 p.m. I crashed. I was dozing. You know when you're like fighting it and your head go and you go like you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. But you're like fighting, you're falling asleep and you're fighting it, and you go every now and then you wake up. And I decided I am not going to do that. I'm just going to go to bed and I'm going to deal with the consequences. And I went to bed at 7:30 last night and I woke up at 3:30 maybe. Well, I woke up at 2 and I went back to bed and I woke up at 3:30, and then at 3:30 I thought, what's the point of staying in bed? I'll just deal with this during the day. So I did laundry like at 3:30 in the morning, as you do when you're jet lagged. But I still haven't unpacked. The only solution is to move there full time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mentioned this before a few times. It would be nice to do a sabbatical, spend a year there, but it would have to be doing this, you know? Once I lost it and I fell asleep in the subway. And where did you wake up, dude? Lani, where did you wake up? This is why sometimes when I'm traveling in Japan, I calculate the time on my station, and then I on my watch I set a timer for about 30 seconds or a minute before the station, just in case I fall asleep. I wake up. I never fall asleep because I am too paranoid of a person to fall asleep on public transport. But if I'm at home, I could easily fall asleep. Yeah. Yes, I am the luggage guy. Apparently, there's a lot of girls with luggage there too. I fit right in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The whole luggage thing in like in Shinjuku, Shibuya, whatever, you'll find lots of people walking out on luggage. Those are semi-homeless people, people who live off potentially, I don't know. Yeah. Anything surprise you, particularly on my trip? Lots of things surprised me. Um, I think when you're gonna go on a 6 week trip, and I know that a lot of people sort of do, a lot of people do like go with the flow trips. They have an open ticket, they don't have hotels, they decide on the day. But I really think that Japan is a place that you need to try to plan quite well. And my trip, the first 4 weeks were very, very well planned, and they went smoothly and they were fine. But my Kanazawa part, I didn't have to worry about because that was being done by Kanazawa City. They were looking after me as an influencer, and that was like an amazing experience. And Mariko came for the ride. It was so much fun. She came as my manager contact, um, and we were taken all over the place by Kanazawa. We had a driver, Mariko was my translator, and we had a city official with us. And at one point, we were going to a site that was opening for tourists, but it hadn't opened for tourists yet. So it was me, Mariko, the driver, and 3 city officials that had never been to the site. So that was kind of crazy. Kanazawa really blew me away. I think that's probably the thing that surprised me the most, and I don't think it's because of the treatment. I think it's because the city is actually very, very well prepared for Western type tourists specifically. And apart from that, Kanazawa is an incredibly beautiful city. When I went back in 2014, I just don't think I was mature enough, and maybe I was jet lagged. I don't know, maybe I was hangover. But I remember not really enjoying my time in 2014 when I went to Kanazawa, and it was like, oh, another castle, another like building. I remember. But this time round, I've kind of fallen in love with the city, to the point that I would go back easily go back. And the fact that I've filmed so much there, there's so much content that I've filmed, guys, so much, it's crazy. It means that I can actually go back and enjoy it in a different way. So Kanazawa really surprised me. Um, but also what I was saying is there was a point in my trip that I didn't prepare, and that was my Sado Island. That was the only sort of few days. Sakata, Sado Island were the two destinations, 3 or 4 days, where I didn't plan anything and I was just going to go with the flow, and that just didn't work out. I mean, it worked out at the end, but it didn't work out. It would have been much smoother had I planned everything meticulously. Is what I'm finding. Um, Things that surprised me about my trip, yeah, that everybody kept on getting rain, and it only rained for overnight whilst I was sleeping in Kanazawa, and for maybe 2 hours whilst I was doing an activity indoors in Kanazawa. So, therefore, I never had any rain really in 6 weeks. Um, Also, that somebody stole my umbrella from McDonald's. That was something else that surprised me. Um, but yeah, just in general, there's so many things that I've done, so many places that I've been to, so many places that have surprised me. Like for example, Sakata. I just put out a video about it today, and yeah, with no beauty filter, by the way. I don't know what was going on there. I put this white cream on my face because my face was burning. I don't know if that made it look weird. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Kanazawa, um, Ninja's vacation is over. I think I'm disappointed more than you, dude. People thought you were homeless. Maybe you have to plan. Indeed, I like that. Kanazawa was one of the. I mean, there's a few really good parts. I think also my Matsuris, 4 days of Matsuris in the north of Japan were pretty spectacular and amongst some of the best memories that I've had. And I would 100% recommend it. I've said it now a few times. Summer in Japan can be brutal, but if you add a few of these really special cultural events in the summer, then all of a sudden it's really, really amazing. Japan, really enjoyed Kanazawa and would definitely go again. Ditto, 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 ditto. I mean, I enjoyed it. I was with, although with because I was with Mariko also. We had loads of fun together. Kanazawa, put a ring on it. Kanazawa looked really impressive from what you showed. I want to experience it. I want you to experience it too because I think Kanazawa is sort of like a place that now that I know you a little bit better, it's the kind of place that I think you will like a lot. They probably liberated my umbrella away from the Gaijin. He's too happy, that guy. Mikasa es tu casa. That's funny. Dude, let's do something with that. Mikasa es su casa. I like it. Yeah. First time anything's been stolen from me, actually. In Japan. I was like, but the thing is that I had a sneaky suspicion that it was gonna happen. I had a sneaky suspicion. I always wanted to go to fireworks display in Japan. I think the only one in December is in Yokohama, but I don't know what date it is. Fireworks in winter December, as far as I'm aware, are not that great. So I don't know. It's a great joke. A great joke. So I have a few questions. What is the picture like? Because I'm actually using my new camera connected as a webcam. And I'm just wondering what you think of the general picture. Yeah, tell me. If you return to that, Actually, something interesting happened, and that was that we had a guide. She was so amazing. Actually, she was really good. Um, but I was being picked up at 8:45 or 8:30 from my ryokan, and I thought, okay, I need to get some coffee in me because I just don't do well without coffee, which is why I did that rant on Discord because I didn't have coffee. Um, but basically, I thought, okay, they're gonna pick me up at half-past 8, so I'm gonna go at 8 to McDonald's to get a coffee, just to get a coffee from McDonald's, and I'm gonna write some thank you cards to the Kanazawa people, handwritten postcards to give them. But when I got out of my room and I was about to leave the ryokan, I see this lady sitting in the lobby of my ryokan, and it turned out to be my tour guide from the day before, who was also touring with us today. And she was there because she was there like super early, like half an hour early, and it was really awkward, a little bit awkward because I was like, what do I do? It's gonna be weird if I leave. Like, she's waiting for me, but she's half an hour early. So I said, hey, I'm gonna go to McDonald's for a coffee. Do you wanna come? And she came with me, and it meant that I couldn't write the notes, the thank you letters. But anyway, that was a little bit of a weird one, to be honest. You need to go to the beach next time, but I might be somewhat cold weather by then. Yeah, in October, maybe not. If you return to the McDonald's and they have your umbrella, I will poo. It doesn't seem level. What doesn't seem level? The camera? I know it's because my my desk, my wall is, I'm not straight. I'm not parallel to the wall. That's why. Because if I move it, then you see my TV and I think it looks horrible. And I think, yeah. You look human. It's very realistic and nice. Thank you. Picture's good for me. Awesome. That's it. The case. It's a case. The case behind the wall and where I'm sitting are not like parallel to each other. So it's a little bit weird. What's the drinks version of hangry? Thangry? I was not a happy Gaijin at all in that moment for two reasons. Number one, I was leaving Japan. You need to remember this. I was leaving Japan and I wasn't ready to leave Japan. Even though I'd been in Japan for 6 weeks, I still wasn't ready to leave the country. So, number one. Number two, I hadn't had coffee. By this point, it was like 9 in the morning, 9:30 in the morning when I got, or 9:45 when I got to the airport. And I went straight through security. I checked in and I went straight through security, and it was super quick, super quick, like crazy quick actually, compared to other years. I don't know if it was just the time. I don't know if it was like less busy. I don't know if there's more. It felt like there were more workers, and it felt like there was a new sort of technology. I don't know, but it was super quick. But the problem was at the freaking airport, every single coffee shop had a sign saying that the machine was broken or that they didn't do coffee. And yeah, that got me in a bad mood. I guess everyone thinks you're happy Gaijin sliding because your background isn't level. I am. How can I? I'm gonna have to fix it, but I have to get closer. Not today. Is anyone really ready to leave Japan? I've never been ready. Exactly. No one's ready to leave Japan. I mean, to be honest, the flight was really smooth. It was a long flight, but it was really smooth. And it wasn't until I was at Heathrow Airport, which by the way is a great airport. A great airport compared to Haneda. When I was on my flight to Gibraltar, that's when I was like really like ready to be home. And my flight to Gibraltar was really interesting because we Gibraltar is notorious for being one of the most difficult airports to land in. That's depending on the wind. It's being considered as one of the top three, but at least the top five most dangerous airports to land in, because there's a road crossing it. There's a very tight airspace. There's a rock on one side, and there's really crazy crosswinds. So I'm used to this because I land there quite often. But in this case, it's happened to me a few times before. We are landing, we do the whole, we go around the Rock of Gibraltar, and then we start landing, and as we're approaching the airport, the runway, the runway's just there. As we're approaching it, the pilot aborts the landing. So yeah, the pilot aborted our landing. I mean, I've been in that situation where we've tried to land 3 times, and we haven't been successful, and we've had to go to another airport. But in this case, they aborted the landing, and it can be quite scary if you've never done that landing in Gibraltar before. So I'm just giving you a warning. Anybody who comes to Gibraltar, just be aware. It's normal. Do not be scared. It's normal, but it is a very kind of uneasy feeling because you are landing and it's slowing down. You feel the plane slowing down, and then all of a sudden, full throttle up. So yeah, that happened. So that was my. And then in my head, I was like, please don't be diverted. Please don't be diverted, because if we're diverted to Spain. And the reason why I didn't want to be diverted to Spain was because my suitcase was full of Tokyo Banana, and the Tokyo Banana isn't allowed into Europe because of all the crazy rules that Europe has. And I was worried that they were going to take away the Tokyo Banana from me. That's right, guys. First world problems. I honestly think Canada is very good. I usually have issues. I don't think, missing vital services, and it's small. Inbound is fine, outbound is tough. I think you're right. Where are my pants? The big coffee shortage, indeed. Picture is good. Heathrow, great. Did they flatten and rebuild it? T5 is okay. T5 is pretty good, I think, to be honest. And even Terminal 3, where I flew from, I mean, in comparison to Haneda, it's freaking good. It's like, in comparison to Haneda Airport, Heathrow Airport, is 25 times better. Maybe 30 times better. A go around, that's it. I'm sure it's better than Manchester. Don't even know what Manchester Airport looks like, but teleportation, the future of travel. Everywhere is better than Manchester Airport. It's so depressing getting back here. Bastard for bananas. And unhappy. I would be a very unhappy Gaijin if they took away my Tokyo bananas. I'm not gonna lie. What a hellhole, Caroline says. I've flown into Kansai Airport. Me. I have experience. I flew into Kansai Airport in December 2019, actually, for New Year's. I stayed in Osaka. And yeah, it's okay. It's just an airport. British citizen charged with smuggling a huge hoard of Tokyo banana into Spain. I'm not gonna lie, but had they opened my suitcase and my hand luggage, some questions might have been asked. I mean, yeah, For sure, 100%. Some questions would have been asked. I've bought, like, I don't know, I'm guessing more than 100, like, individual Tokyo bananas. But some of them are look, okay, let me explain. I have, unfortunately or fortunately, I have gotten some of my friends hooked onto Tokyo Banana, which means that now every time I go to Japan, they send me money and they ask me to bring them Tokyo Banana. So one of them is Sarah. Those of you who know who Sarah is, she asked me to buy her 24 Tokyo Bananas, so 2 boxes of 12, which is what I did. Which then another friend asked me and I did the same, and then I wanted for myself, and then I was in the airport and I bought more, and this is what happens. Tokyo Banana. What illegal ingredients are in Tokyo Banana is why you love it so much. I love it because they're just fluffy and custardy. So not too confusing and an easy to find JR office. So not too confusing and an easy to find JR office and the trains. I didn't think that Kansai was confusing. I didn't need to find a JR office because I wasn't exchanging a JR pass when I went, because I just went for a short time. And the trains run quite smoothly into the city. So yeah, Kansai Airport isn't too bad. Banana smuggler, I'm phoning Interpol right now. Whoa, that's scary. You mean you allegedly brought the Tokyo bananas? Remember, the man is always listening. Yeah, I allegedly. But I wonder what ingredients, what there is. Because Europe has some very strict laws when it comes to bringing animal products or dairy products into the country. You cannot bring in dairy products into Europe, and because Tokyo Banana is made with custard and has dairy in it, you can't bring it in. I had a lot of problems when I was trying to do my Sakurako and Tokyo Treats sponsorship. I had a lot of problems. In fact, one of the boxes I never received because it were held back by customs because they said that it had animal product in it. And Tokyo Treats, they were so good because they sent me another one, which finally got to me when I did it. But yeah, it is tricky. It can be very tricky. I edited that mask video on the Ninja Monkey channel. I edited the whole thing on the flight from Tokyo to London. Not bad, huh? I mean, that video, I'm not gonna lie, it didn't take as long as some of my other videos because I had a very clear picture in my head of what the video was gonna be like. So I filmed that on my very last day. We're back in the clay actually, and I filmed that very last day where basically I knew that I needed to take some footage of people outdoors, footage of people indoors, and footage of trains, people in trains. And then I knew that my main talking points were basically going to be talking about outdoors, talking about indoors, talking about trains, talking about inact. So it's really easy, really. And because I tried to do a little bit of research and find some statistics, and the last statistics were from May, which doesn't sound like too long ago, but I can tell you that things have changed quite a lot, even from my trip. And it's something that I forgot to mention. But when I arrived at the beginning in July in Japan, one of the Dormy Inn that I stayed in had a sign saying our um our staff are required to wear a mask. There was a sign in English. Our staff are required to wear a mask for the time being. We will be assessing this in the future. You know, that was a company policy. But by the end of the trip, nobody was wearing masks anymore. So even that had changed, and I think that was a biggie. So yeah, that video was really easy to put together, and because I couldn't find any specific statistics, I thought, you know, you don't need statistics when you can just visually show people what things are like, right? And to be honest, I even at some points found it hard to find people wearing masks. So if you notice, a lot of people are not wearing masks, really. It'd be interesting to see what happens in the winter when it's colder, and maybe flu season, whatever. We'll see. Remember, it's in the name. Ban Anana, ban it. No, don't ban it. Lani, where are you? Where do you live? I mean, don't get me wrong. Probably if you buy a little box, you can put it in your suitcase. Nobody's gonna notice. But let's just say that mine people would notice because it was literally full of talking banana. Oh my god. It is what it is. So yeah, this Wednesdays is gonna be the Happy Gaijin weekly show. I hope that that's cool with everyone. Hopefully we'll be able to monetize it soon. And if you are watching and you're not subscribed to this channel, then please do subscribe. Check out some of my other videos, content. For example, my trip to Sakata. And I say it's the most obscure. I said it's an obscure town. It is an obscure town. I mean, the majority of people don't know what the hell Sakata is or where Sakata is. So, landing to Germany, I mean, it depends how much what you're gonna bring. If they replace the custard with vegan custard, it will be legal. Probably. Yes, it's tricky. It is tricky. And it depends on how strict, I guess, the customs at the airport are, I guess, too, also. I know that when I fly into Malaga Airport, they're quite strict. They basically make us put all the suitcases through a scanner at customs because we are entering from outside of Europe. And they will check, and I've seen them you know, like take things out of people's bags and stuff. So for me, in my case, it was just so many biscuits, chocolate bananas. Oh, and by the way, I am obsessed. My new obsession on this trip, it's a little bit broken, it's still okay. This has been my new obsession on this trip. I think I might have eaten one a day. Guys. This has been seriously my new obsession, and I brought with me like 5 or 6 of these also. You're gonna send me a photo? Okay. Send me a photo. Anyway, it's I'm gonna start putting things. What? Are you kidding me? Dude, is it not true? Sorry, Japanese people just sent me a photo of this, and I'm like, I am obsessed, dude. It's my new obsession. I swear, it's so freaking good. It is so freaking amazingly good. Ah, I will be ending the stream shortly in the next few minutes. So if you have any questions about my trip, questions about any of your upcoming trips, or just generally want to say something like to the world, like announce something, I'm gonna be a dad, you know, whatever, then let us know. And what flavor is it? I think it's carrots. Carrots. It's carrot. It's amazing. It's so freaking amazing. But yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. And I think I did a good job of keeping you up to date with everything. I think that whilst I was in Japan, hopefully you've been able to experience quite a bit of what I've been going through. I tried to stream every day. Salad, yeah, it's salad flavor. That's it. I tried to stream as much as I could. There was a few times that I wasn't able to, but there'll be videos coming. Don't worry. And when I go back to Japan in October, you can expect the same. You can expect me to learn from this trip. I've learned a lot this trip, actually, a lot. I mean, not just about my filming, because even I think from my observation, maybe you disagree with me. I think that when that mask video that I put, the B-roll was pretty good. I was really happy with the B-roll. So I've learned quite a bit about videography, about filming. Hopefully it will be evident in upcoming videos in the next few weeks, months, or whatever. And not only that, but I've also learned a lot about live streaming, and vlogging generally. I think vlogging story time style works very well for a trip, where basically I just sit down and I say, this is what I've done, this is what I've done, this is what I've done, and then I basically put in the back. I mean, I might have one or two more of those, because I'd like to I've done 2 or 3 of those whilst I've been in Japan, and I'd like to sort of finish that in the Happy Gaijin channel. Have 1 or 2 more where I just give you some highlights of the things that I did, if that makes any sense. Probably I'll do that. Customers don't get as excited about processed and packaged foods. It's more likely being raw and personally prepared foods that they get bent out of shape about. Yeah, definitely, but it depends on the quantities. In my case, the quantities were quite absurd, I'm not gonna lie. Really, I'm not the biggest fan of Moss Burger, to be honest. Aerobics background music, okay. Melon soda's pretty good. Melon soda's pretty good. Okinawa is my plan for next year. Watch the space. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And it's salad flavor. Sarada. This was fun. Thanks for staying awake for this. Yes, good, because it's now 10 p.m. and this is a very, very, very good good way to go to bed now. Too many videos to keep up. Yeah, I've been quite busy with the videos, right? Hopefully it's not a complaint. See you later, guys. Just thank you, Nathan. You look happy and tired and satisfied. I am happy. I am tired. I am satisfied. I'm all of those things. And Nathan, any tips for flying long haul to Japan? Yeah. Depends on the time of your flight. Depends on the tip, really. If it's a night flight, My suggestion really, I know people sort of do the whole like you need to sleep, you need to do this, don't sleep or don't sleep because then you need to. I think really try to make your flight as comfortable as possible, and if you can sleep, then sleep as much as you can on the flight. And if it means that you're going to be jet lagged when you get to Japan, you can deal with it when you get to Japan. That flight is long, and if you can be a little bit more comfortable, then definitely try to sleep. Did you surpass your drunk streams from last time? I don't know. It's in the summer. It's difficult to do drunk streams. Try to reset your destination time as soon as possible. When you get there, I think. Night, Caroline. I think it's time for me to go. Everyone, thanks for watching. If you're new, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. It really does tell YouTube that you are into this sort of content. Not only will it hopefully recommend some of my content, but it will also recommend some similar content from other content creators, which there are many. And on that note, please check out some of my other videos, especially my latest video on Happy Gaijin, which is basically Sakata, an obscure town that I went to, and also Ninja Monkey mask updates. The truth about masks, because it's true. Everyone, thanks for watching. Stay positive.